Darn, it's a magnet, not a sticker. Oh well. Yeah, I think it'll work there. Hey MGTOWs, this is Vention. I don't know if I already said that. I decided to go ahead and upgrade the suspension in my 1-ton truck so that I could carry this camper really easily. As it is, I have to keep like 40 pounds in the bags to keep it comfortable. But as it is, I'd prefer to like throw 10 in and just use these spring stabilizers. This spring stabilizer here is the upper one, and it brings the overload spring on top into play directly immediately instead of having to sink all the way down to the point where it hits the little pads. So it immediately jumps in. And then the second type of spring stabilizer has these little things for the bottom, this bottom leaf spring. This is also an overload spring. And basically, and then you can swing these out though. I wish they had these things set up so that you could like immediately pull out that one and flip another one in that way you could like downgrade immediately. But as it is, I think these will be a fine addition to my truck. Yeah, good times. Okay, hold on for a moment. I still intend to put in this little deal right here and a little compressor so that I can control the pressure in the airbag from the driver's seat. That would rock. And I'm thinking about using that little Harbor Freight tank over there. If I can find a way to secure that thing underneath it, that would save a little money. Then I wouldn't have to go buy another tank. But it is a little big. Maybe it might not be appropriate for the job. But if I had a tank that big, I could use it. Once it was pumped up, I could use that air for a lot of different things. Tires, of course the airbags, and maybe even some small, limited air tool usage. Some kind of something pretty small. So yeah, that's the plan. Good times. But now we get to the purpose of the video. I'd like to expand on what I was talking about yesterday while I was on my walk. How hypergamy is like the natural partner of Captain Sabaho, or as I called it, rescue fever. Generally, in the past, that would result in marriages and whatnot, and families that would grow, and then you would have children, grandchildren, and as I was saying, life. But now we're in a situation where women just have like the ultimate power. They can just detonate a marriage, throw you out, false accusations. I mean, they are in charge, and they're large too. And so in any case, they basically just rule, man. But they're not set up for that. They're not set up to rule openly in, like with everybody being aware of it. They were already configured to basically rule from sort of a stealthy position. I'm not saying that there aren't situations where women were like badly abused and whatnot, but those were dysfunctional situations, and it was not it was not functional, and it did not produce as well as treating a woman decently. You get more you get more out of anybody if you treat them decently, as a general rule, unless in this case, they're large and in charge. But I'd like to bring to your attention a video that I'm very fond of. I like this. It's a very good song from like an 80s star. Went by the name of Bonnie Tyler. I don't know if that was her real name, but she was singing this song about holding out for a hero. I'm guessing all of you guys have heard that song before. And in a way, you know, it's sort of like a really short romance novel, but it's probably aimed at guys. Almost certainly at guys. So she basically is she in the video. I'd like to link it, and maybe you could go watch it. Basically, she is in the Old West, right? In this sort of little drama, and in it there's these evil cowboys with the typical black outfits, and they basically and they're like menacing her, right? And they have obviously something that isn't out of history, which is like glow-in-the-dark whips that cause fires, but I think that's just like neither here nor there. But basically, she is being menaced by these evil cowboys, right? And she's like calling for the hero, right? And but if you look at it, you know, who's really in charge? When it comes right down to it, the character who is being played by the woman is making pretty much, she's passively making all of this stuff happen. She's like, she has, just by being there, she just has this tremendous power to cause men to freaking kill each other. It's like, and if you don't think that's power, you are like way mistaken. So basically, she's in there, and she's being menaced by these evil cowboys, and she runs out of the house, right? And she's like, and she jumps down on her knees, right? And that is not a dominant body language. But she's kind of in charge. Basically, they're all orbiting around her, right? In that video. And she is absolutely the center and the driver of the entire process. And then, of course, she calls for the hero. And the hero, dressed in white, or the white knight on the white horse, he doesn't have a face. His face is always in shadow. Man, if you want to talk about objectifying, man, that hero, that, you know, quote hero, that guy is absolutely being objectified. He is a friggin' object. So and you can see in a way, you know, she is, the way she's like holding her arms out, and she like had something in her hands, and she like flung it out, right, in a way, and it kind of is like a demonstration, kind of like the way like a chimp or a chimpanzees like they run around and like throw rocks and sticks and scream and yell and whatnot. It's kind of like that, you know, establishing a sort of a dominant position. And she is absolutely in charge. And then at the end of the video, of course, you know, the hero kills the other men, and then is there, and then she like looks up, and she got her hero, you know, and it's something, man. It is something that just reaches right down past your conscious mind, if you're a guy, you know, and for an attractive woman to, you know, just be calling for a hero, and it just goes right past your brain, and it just plugs directly into your cerebellum and takes over your body. And then you find yourself going off and performing whatever service it is she's requesting, and it's embarrassing when it happens. Man, let me tell you. I guess now that I'm retired and my job isn't really threatened by feminists, you know, I guess I could kind of indicate that I was, what I was doing for a living. I was a school bus mechanic for a while, and then, and basically in that place, the drivers had to clean their own buses, right? And there was this crazy, freaky, insanely beautiful driver, and she was just something about her. Just her face was just something about it. Had the power to force other people to do what she wanted. It's weird. It is freaking weird. It's like having an endless amount of money in a wallet, right? And then you can buy things with it, right? And then there's this little invisible string, and you pull the money back, right? And she can, I don't know if she can now or not, because it's like 15 years later. But back then, she could grab you, whatever it is that is you behind your eyes, and force you to do something. And she was saying, Vincent, I had 4 kids vomit on my bus. would you help me clean it up? And something happened. Her eyes got really big, and I like got dizzy, and I was like kind of like vague and mildly like only semi-aware. And then I found myself in the bus with a mop cleaning out the bus, and she was gone. And I was thinking, what the fuck? What just happened? How the heck did this just happen? How did this happen to me? Now, that was before 2009. That was back when I was still dating. Maybe I was still partially vulnerable to that sort of thing. But I'd like to say that I'm not vulnerable. I'd like to say I'm invulnerable. But that, I might not just be, the women of the level that like bring down superstars and stars and whatnot. Those women are going after guys who are, those women don't go after guys like me. So I don't know if I could resist them or not. So back to what I'm saying. In that video is Bonnie Tyler, the cowgirl, whatever, Is she really being threatened, or is she in charge? Is she just sending out her feminine power, right, and just putting it out there in this big, huge field, and then just saying, okay, everybody sort it out, and then once everybody's done killing each other and beating the shit and producing and competing and kicking the living shit out of each other, then she says, you're the winner, you're kind of hot, and if one of those, in that video, if one of those black outfit villain, evil bad guy, evil cowboy guys would had won and killed the hero, she'd be saying, well, you're kind of hot anyway, so I think I'll just go for you. So yeah, holding out for a hero. Bonnie Tyler was not the damsel in distress. She was in charge, and she was putting out that power, that feminine power, and then whoever is done just killing and beating and just competing and producing and outcompetes all the others, and then brings all of that and puts it in front of her down at her feet, and she pulls out her sword and says, you are the knight, just like there's this famous picture with this queen knighting this little simp, and it's pretty famous, and you guys have probably seen it, and yeah, and then 5 years later, divorce. Okay, guys, that's about all I got for you, and don't get married.